But I do agree that there's a way out, and there is a way that this rebuild can be different than ones in years past. And there's honestly some hope for Lions fans. So my plan, my strategy, my roadmap to success, whatever you want to call it, it begins this year. And now these things have to happen, and if they don't happen, then it's not going to work. Bottom out this year. You feel like you're probably going there at some point anyway, right? You got to get Will Anderson in the draft. I don't know if you have to draft one to do it, but you got to get Will Anderson. You get Will Anderson from Alabama, then you're looking at this defense. It was a very bad defense. But now you have a couple of linchpin guys, or guys that you at least think can be really good, right? You have Will Anderson. I don't think anybody thinks he's going to bust out. You have Aiden Hutchinson, who people might not be as high on right now, but you still got more than half of the fan base is going to be Michigan fans. They're still really high on him, and I'm sure he'll figure it out. You got Malcolm Rodriguez, who everybody loves, and then you have Jeff Okudah, who's shown some real good flashes this year. So you got 4 of your 11 players on defense that you think, hey, these guys can be really, really good. And now you got some other players who do what you want to do with Pascal. Or Ruarie has been pretty bad. But Kirby Joseph, if you're excited about any of those guys, God bless you. I'm not. I'm just going to limit it to the 4. And you already have an offense, say from last week, that is destroying the NFL. So you're still going to have Swift, Amon-Ra, Jamal Williams, right? And now you're also looking at Jameson Williams, getting him added to the offense, and you have maybe the best offensive line in the NFL. So boom, right there, your offense is honestly probably a top 5 offense, even with Jared Goff at quarterback. And I don't like Jared Goff, but he's fine for this Lions plan that I'm putting together. So now, what we talked about maybe 2 months ago on one of our shows, we were super ahead of the curve, so shout out to us. You need to root for the demise of the Los Angeles Rams. Anybody who's still clinging on to Matthew Stafford, the Rams are 2-3 right now. They got the number 13 pick where it sits at today in the NFL draft. We need to root for the Rams to lose. Stafford already got a Super Bowl. Your opinion on him doesn't even have to change. I'm not asking you to change your opinion. I'm just asking for you to root for this man to fail and to keep us in that top, maybe it's not 13, top 15 draft pick territory. So now you're looking at Will Anderson. You're looking at Aiden Hutchinson, Jeff Okudah, Malcolm Rodriguez. You can add another top-flight defensive player with pick 14, 15, 16, whatever you want to call it. And there's a couple guys there. You guys go look at mock drafts. The Lions need everything. So pick what you want. Do you want another edge? Do you want a defensive tackle like where Jordan Davis went last year? Would you like to have Jordan Davis on this team? Maybe you can go grab somebody who's like a Jordan Davis. Go grab another corner to put opposite Jeff Okudah. Go grab a safety so that these guys who keep getting burnt over the top, right? We don't have Tracy Walker, obviously, and we're starting Xavion Smith, who got carted off. So I wish the best to him, but he's not somebody who realistically should have been put in that position to play anyway. Grab any defensive player you want. That's the key, though. It has to be a defensive player. Don't tell me you're going to go get Jordan Addison, wide receiver from USC. I'm not going to hear it. It has to be another defensive player in the top of the NFL draft, right? So you have picks. Hopefully you get pick 1. But say you get another top 3 pick, Will Anderson, and then you get a pick in the top half of the draft, which is top 16. Now you're probably going to add that guy to the list of the 4 defensive players that you have. Boom, now you got 5 defenders who you feel like could be really good in this league. They're all on the defense. They're all going to be young players, obviously, and that's half your defense that is young and that it is talented. And the guys who are already here are going to take a step up next year. Aiden Hutchinson, he's going to be better than he is this year. Jeff Okudah, he's going to be better than he is this year. Malcolm Rodriguez, same thing. And again, if Will Anderson is the guy that we think he is, he can come in and make an immediate impact on the NFL right away. And then this next guy who comes in, who knows? It might be a crapshoot, but I guarantee he'll be more talented than Alex Anzalone or even, again, Ruarie. Rest in peace. Like, he'll be more talented than any of those guys. It's just a matter of if he can convert that talent into production and into playing well within the defense. So doing all of this, that gets you your path, because then you have a top 5 offense and you have a defense who is young, is going to be super talented if things fall this way, and that is going to be able to grow together. And we've seen some piecemeal defenses work where, last year the Rams, they grabbed Von Miller, threw him on their defense. This year they tried to do the same thing with Bobby Wagner. Von Miller, he just got thrown in on the Bills defense. So we've seen defenses work that way, but it happens when you have the homegrown talent, when you have, I guess Jalen Ramsey was traded for too, but he had been in LA for a minute before they won the Super Bowl. They had Aaron Donald. So it's going to become like, basically, how can you do this? Can you get those defensive pieces? Can things fall right for you? You got to root for Matthew Stafford to lose, guys. I'm sorry, you just got to. And you got to root for the Lions to lose, which is obviously more likely than the Rams losing. But that is our path out of here. And then we can keep Dan Campbell, hopefully, or at least Ben Johnson, because he's a really good offensive play caller. And then we'll see if that happens. Then I think next year is the referendum year that we see on Dan Campbell, that we see on Aaron Glenn. Ben Johnson, to me, he's already money. He's fine. He's in the good portion of it. But Aaron Glenn, obviously, still a lot to prove, right? Dan Campbell, still a lot to prove. But I don't think, and this might just be the fan in me, I don't think the Lions have the talent this year, so I'm giving a semi-pass. Now, there are other teams who are winning who seem like they have a similar talent level to the Lions, young head coaches. We're going to get into other rebuilds in a second, but it's what people talked about, right? The Jets, the Giants. There's these other teams who at least now look like they have their stuff together more than the Lions do, and they're in similar situations in their quote-unquote rebuilds. But I'll give the Lions one more year, and if this plan falls into place, that to me is how the Lions can get into real contention, and it's how we can make this rebuild different from the regimes in the past.
Hey, Ryan Griffin here. Thank you so much for watching today's episode of Griffin and Bass. Be sure to give us your thoughts in the comments below. Remember to click the bell to receive the latest notifications from DSN, and subscribe for breaking news, community blogs, polls, contests, and other content.